Hi, this is Astera. I'm going to share with you today another tip on how to make your culture shock a bit less painful experience and how to foster your adaptation to your new country when you are an expat. So once you have relocated to your new country, or preferably even before you have relocated, it's good to do some background research on the country and the situation in the country. So you can learn something about the history of the country, something about the political and social context. Also, you may be willing to learn some basic phrases in the local language, something that may be helpful to you when you run your daily errands, like buying some grocery articles in a local shop, or buying a ticket for a train or a metro. And once you are already in your new place, once you have relocated, you can continue this cultural learning by interacting with local people. The local people are a great source of information on different topics, on the culture, on the etiquette, on the culturally appropriate behaviors. It's very important to interact with them, because by doing so you're learning in a much quicker way, and you're fostering your adaptation. You're making it more smooth. So if you are invited to different events when you can interact and have contact with different local people, like your local colleagues, or maybe your neighbors, or some other people that you have acquainted, it's very important to take advantage of this sort of situations and participate in this kind of events. However, I have one thing to mention here that is quite important and you should be aware of. Because cultural learning takes place pretty much during different conversations, when we exchange our views on different topics. You should be aware as an expat that you are in a completely different cultural environment, and people may feel uncomfortable discussing some topics that may not be uncomfortable for you. But well, in general, topics like politics, or religion, or what we do in our bedroom behind the closed doors, are the topics that should be avoided, and we should not discuss them with people that we don't know very well, like our colleagues, or other people that are not our friends or family. Well, sometimes even friends and family may not feel comfortable discussing this sort of topics, because these topics, they touch a very intimate part of our lives. So it's very normal that we may not really feel like sharing our views on this kind of topics with other people publicly. So here it's important to be sensible in your choice of topics that you want to discuss with other people, especially if you are still not fully culturally adequate, and you are not very much aware of what can make other people feel embarrassed, or awkward, or even less than during this kind of conversations. And I have mentioned that because I'm an expat myself, and sometimes I was in this sort of situations that I had an impression that some expats really forgot about like basic etiquette and basic manners, because well, some expats from more affluent countries had this sort of educational agenda in their discussions of well, educating the local people, or some other expats from less affluent countries, on the only correct way of political thinking, or the only correct way of thinking on different social issues. Or they shared very enthusiastically their opinions about the local government or the local politics. And this is something that you don't necessarily want to do, because this sort of topics, they actually make people embarrassed, And even if they have maybe similar convictions as you have, similar views, they may have them for completely different reasons, and they may still disagree with you, and they may not really want to be put in this sort of situation. So it's important to know that you would rather avoid that kind of interactions where you as an expat might be seen as a person who is not comfortable to be around, who make other people feel awkward, because this is something that may hinder your professional goals as well, and you don't really want to do it. It's behaving in that way, engaging in this sort of conversation in a very pushy way, may not do you any favor. Please remember that in some cultures, especially in Asia, but not only, there is a concept called keeping face, and that means that you should not embarrass other people publicly, and you should not make them feel uncomfortable. You should be polite, and while you can of course have your own views, you should not be pushy or arrogant in expressing them. So I hope that this was helpful to you. Thank you, and see you soon. Bye.